Hey everybody, it's the 1st of September 2017. I wanted to thank everyone for being so supportive this past month, for hanging out in the Discord, for supporting on Patreon. It's been pretty great. I, I really can't say enough. We've hit 105 subscribers as on YouTube. Like I checked last night, I think it was 105, which is sweet. So now I have my own. I have like a custom URL now, so it's just youtube.com/c/jdm what no underscore, which is awesome. So great things happening. Hope to keep making more content. This video is going to be just a outside of the case build of the 1366 motherboard I just bought. I bought this kind of on a whim. It was only 55 bucks or best offer with $15 shipping. I think I paid $48 after submitting the offer. I didn't realize at the time, but I realized why it was only $55, and it's because it's a gigantic motherboard. It's not EATX, it's not SSI EEB, it's what Supermicro likes to call EEATX, which is really technically SSI EEB plus. So I have one of these in 2011 in my server in the rack, and I just totally forgot how gigantic these things are. So I don't know that I have a case that I can put this in, but that doesn't really matter for this video. We're just gonna build it up and have it running outside the box, like not running outside, but we're gonna build everything, have it here, and then maybe I'll just do some bench work with it. And it'd be nice to have a test bench, and we can play around with some stuff once I have a test bench. But for right now, I've got RAM, motherboard, 2 processors, and then 2 Arctic i11 CO heatsinks. So yeah, I guess just let's get started. So when I got this out of the box, there's a note on here that says tested and updated 8/28/17. So I don't know if that's. I've never seen a note like that on a board after getting it. And my God, is it heavy! So you can tell an EEATX or an SSI EEB plus board by looking at the rear I/O shield. So the normal EATX or ATX boards would stop right at this connector here, but you can see this one extends about 1.5 to 2 inches past that. A lot of cases don't have room for that. So if you put this in a Fantex Enthoo Pro, which supports SSI EEB, the mounting holes down here, this one, and this one will mount correctly, but these at the top won't, which isn't that big of a deal. There's only, I think, 8 holes total, so if you have these 5 down here and the board is standing up like this, it's really not going to go anywhere. I mean, I can hold it like this. It's not gonna. I mean, it's flexing because it's so heavy, but once it's in the case, it'll be like this. And then you mount coolers and everything to it. What I would do is I would just kind of run a zip tie through here and see if you can't, zip tie it around one of the cable management holes or something like that. But there's plenty of people that are running this size in the Fantex Enthoo Pro, and it does fit, but it's really close. It's kind of like barely fits. So this is an X8DTN Plus revision 2. The revision 1 boards of 1366, which I just learned recently, a lot of them don't support 5600 series. They only support 5500 series processors, so that's something to look out for. If you're shopping for boards, especially 1366, just ask the seller what revision it is. The revision number is down here on all of the boards that I've seen. So you might actually be able to see it in some pictures, but it's very tiny. So it's just right here. This one came with 2 free processors, which are, in my opinion, junk. I don't even know what they are. They're E5506. Yeah, they're pretty junky. Like, they're $3 to $5 a piece on eBay, at most, at maximum. So they could be even cheaper than that. If you're just getting a build up and running and you just want something that works, these are probably, I mean, they're probably like 5,000 pass mark for both of them. I don't know. I have to look that up. But there's nothing wrong with just using them because they work totally fine. But for the money, I mean, you could spend $30 and get X5667s, L5640s, X5670s, and you'd only be spending $30 to $45 to $70 for a pair of processors that would kick the crap out of these. So just keep that in mind. Like I said, this is an X8DTN Plus. X8 meaning that that's the series that it's in. X9 boards would be like 2011 and let's see, socket 1150. I think the X10 boards are like 1151 and 2011 3. But the plus at the end means that it has extra DIMM slots. So if you see a board that's plus, it's probably SSI EEB Plus or EE-ATX. This one has, let's see, kind of an odd PCI Express config. So this one might look like a full-size 16. It's not. These 2 slots are meant for riser cards, but if I recall correctly, you can use a regular 16 in this. You can use an X8 in this one, and an X8 in this one, and a 16 in this one. This is just a normal 16. This is a normal 8. This is the normal 8 with a reversed X1 slot on the back of it, and then they're kind of separated there. And then this is a X16 plus like a X1, but these essentially just carry more lanes and more data over a smaller space, and then you can do like a riser that's horizontal or something like that. But that's like a proprietary Supermicro thing. So if you put this in a desktop case, it's not going to be something you should worry about. And there's an X8 down here, but I don't believe that this X8 lines up with, I don't think it lines up with the expansion slots correctly, so your mileage may vary on this one. Yeah, IO Shield. Let's see, this board doesn't have IPMI. It's not a -F, which is what, so any board that has -F from Supermicro would be an IPMI board. So even though we're not installing the case, we're just going to check out the IO Shield and make sure everything lines up. So it looks like one of the Ethernet ports is blocked off, so we can just punch that out. Just got to twist the metal here. Be very, very careful when messing around with the IO shields. They're extremely thin metal and they're very, very sharp. So just take your time. And it looks right to me. So this port up here would be for like your IPMI. If you had quad NIC, like if this was an LN4 board, you could punch out these two, and then you would have 4 NIC over here, you have your IPMI over here. So I'll drop this and set this to the side for now. Alright, so let's take these processors out, and I have a pair of X5667 here that I got for $26. It's too good of a deal, I couldn't pass it up. Oh man, I really packaged this. So the X5667, if I recall correctly, is a 3.06 gigahertz quad core with hyperthreading, so it's essentially an i7. It turbos to 3.6. So great little processor, but it's even better if you have two of them. And the best part is they're only $26. So let me do that again without just doing it and not talking about it. 1366, super easy. There's one little arm here. Let me see if I can get a little closer so you can see. There's a little arm. You push down on the arm, pull to the side, and then just it'll lift up on its own spring tension and lift the socket. And then there's a little ledge here and here on the top. And you can just kind of pinch the processor, take it out. There's a gold corner on the bottom here. You can line that up with the triangle here on the socket, or you can take a look at these notches on the side of the processor and line them up with the socket there. And then just set it in, and it'll just sit there under its own weight. And just reverse the procedure. The lid down first, and then the arm goes underneath. So we'll do the next one. And this one is going to be reverse orientation. So it's going to look like it's upside down from the last one. And that should be the same with 2011 or 1366 or 1356. All right, and so for the heat sinks, we've got Arctic i11s. Now, I had a hunch that these would fit 1366, but I wasn't really sure until the like 2 days ago. I actually got to test it out on my friend's board, and he was very helpful for bringing his whole computer over and letting me do that. These only claim compatibility with socket 1150, 1151, 1155, 1156, and 2011. Well, the thing about 1366 Xeons is that the threading for the back plates that are permanently mounted to the boards, they're the same threads as 1156 or 115X sockets. So we can use those screws, but the 1366 mounting holes are the size of 2011 mounting holes. So on the heatsink, as I knock my rubbing alcohol off, on the heatsink there's two holes. The inner one is for 115X and the outer one is for 2011. So if you use the 115X screws in the 2011 hole, it'll actually mount to 1366. And the reason that these say they're not compatible with 1366 is because they don't come with a 1366 backplate, but we already have one. And all of 2011 has a backplate built in, regardless of whether it's a desktop or a server socket. 115X, it's kind of a toss-up. So they have an 115X backplate in here, just in case. But there's no 1366 backplate, so that's why they claim that it's not compatible or whatever. So yeah, we get to use this. These things are awesome. The i11 CO, I didn't go for this over any, like, the i11 is totally fine. Get the i11, the i11 CO, whichever's cheaper. I just learned yesterday that the Arctic Freezer 12, which is replacing the i11, they're on Newegg right now. The regular 12 is $19.99. The 12 CO is $24.99. They're even cheaper than these, and they're supposedly better. At least that's what Arctic says. God, I'm talking too fast. Let me grab the mounting for this one. They're so easy to install. So this is the one I tested out the other day. There's the 115X backplate. Looks like I'll need to grab the thermal paste from the other one. So again, I still haven't gotten my G-Lid GC Extreme in the mail yet. So I guess we're going to be using the Arctic, whatever is included in the box. Arctic MX4. Just use a little drop here. That aside. A lot of people are unsure about heatsink and fan orientation. The fan sucks air in through the open side of the blades. Side with the frame is usually the exhaust, so the side where the motor mounts and stuff like that. So it sucks air in, blows it through the heatsink and out the back. And we want our airflow to go front to back and the I/O shield to the back. So we're gonna mount them like this. Just kind of set it down, line it up, and just thread our screws in. So I'm just gonna get them tightened down without actually putting any pressure on the cooler itself or on the mounting. These are screws that you can't over tighten because the threads only stop, or they only go up halfway and they kind of stop right there. I guess I should have taken the fan off. But once you feel these screws stop, don't tighten them anymore because you could break the back plate. You can actually shear off the screw. It's not something you want to do because then you gotta call Arctic and say, hey, I broke a screw. Send me some more, and then it takes 2 weeks or however long. All right, so now that the screw heads are kind of flush with the mounting bracket, I'm going to start tightening them in a cross pattern and actually tightening the heatsink down. I'm going to do a little bit at a time. Alright, that one's all the way tight, so we'll tighten this one all the way now. Alright. Alright, and now the heatsink should be solid enough where you can pick up the whole board. Throw this guy on. Again, I mount my my fan for the i11s and the i11 COs. I mount it upside down because there's a sticker on the other side. I think it looks nicer without the sticker. I'm going to put this thermal paste on while I have it sitting here. Please tell me they gave me enough for 2. Yes, perfect. Plenty. Let's take this fan off. Get rid of the 2011 screws. Four tiny ones are what mount you attach these mounting plates to the actual heatsink with. Make sure you take the sticker off the bottom, otherwise it's not going to transfer heat very well. And I'm just going to do the same thing that I did on the last one. All right, gonna put our fan on. I'm gonna take this and wire and kind of run it underneath and through the middle of the heatsink. There's a fan header right here labeled CPU 2. This one, I don't know if we'll be able to do the same thing. See if it'll reach. Oh, CPU1 fan is back here. There's that. And I've got 6 2-gig sticks of RAM I just had laying around. Don't do what I just did. We're going to use the blue slots. That's the primary slots for this motherboard and for, I would say, all Supermicro boards. 1366 is up to triple channel. You can do single, dual, or triple channel RAM, but for triple channel you need 3 sticks per processor, and you want to mirror the configuration. So for some reason, if you had 4 sticks, you would have 1, 2, 3 in the blue slots, and then 1 in the secondary first slot, and then you would do the same thing on this side, except for it's flipped. So it would be 1, 2, 3, and then the second, like the 4th stick would be here. Start closest to the processor. Be a little easier. That's about it. So here's our completed build. Oh boy, this sucker's heavy now. Look how nice that looks. So yeah, I don't know what we'll be doing with this in the future. It's a pretty sweet setup that I didn't spend a whole lot of money on. I had the RAM laying around already. So we got 12 gig of RAM, dual X5667, so 8 cores, 16 threads, up to 3.6 gigahertz. Two really overrated coolers for the setup. They're 150 watts each. 150 watt TDP rated each, and pretty quiet. And then this gigantic motherboard we can fill with RAM, expansion cards, HBAs. You could take something like these three LSI 9210 8Is, put all of them in there and try that out. Do some testing or something like that. But yeah, I mean, just look at the size of this micro ATX board compared to. Let's line it up. So anyway, hope you like this video. I know it wasn't too instructional, but yeah. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you next time.